Hi, Misha here, and last week put out a video, 6 reasons why I wanted and purchased this firearm. The Arsenal SAM5, part number SAM5-61, AK, built in Bulgaria by Arsenal AD Circle 10. And imported here by Arsenal Incorporated, Las Vegas, Nevada. And while similar guns have been available in the past, this is the first time we've received this. A true import, milled receiver, 5.56 NATO 223 caliber. Essentially, this is a semi-automatic AR M1. In the last video, I talked about reasons why and did some comparison. And in this video, we're going to take it to the range, try out brass and steel, several magazine types, and just generally run it through its paces. So buckle up, because we've got a lot of range footage for you. And now with the 30-round Bulgarian. Helps if I chamber it though. Phew, there's a lot of shooting, wasn't it? Alright guys, here's what happened. The gun worked perfectly, that's not the problem. However, the camera, specifically the SD card, did not. It crashed on us. The most annoying part, we had a table talk recorded. We had multiple shooting clips, probably, I don't know, maybe up to a dozen. We even previewed them on the card, but when we went to pull the card to put it in the computer, it couldn't identify the card, and we tried recovery programs. Trust me, yeah. I don't know. Computers, cameras. Hey, we're gun people, not computer people, guys. So, unfortunately, the only range clip we ended up having was the one you just saw, which was recorded by Jay's cell phone. That said, I can re-record the talking part here for you and give you a rundown on what we discovered with this gun. Just a few general specs, and I've made a few light modifications. Starting at the muzzle, I installed a Bulgarian 4-port muzzle brake, often called the shark gill. This is a 16 1/4 inch cold hammer forged chrome line barrel. 1 7 twist. The gas block is also chrome lined. Pretty standard AK sights. I took the US made handguards off and installed a set of Bulgarian. Why? Because this actually came with an excess of US parts. Originally we had the US handguard, US pistol grip, and I wasn't sure in the first video, the first impressions, if this was a US stock or not, because it does feel good. It does have the cleaning kit trapdoor. It's not marked US on the outside, but inside it is. So we had US pistol grip, US stock, US handguards, and the FIME US trigger group, and many suggested that the muzzle nut this comes with is also US made. So that's actually 7 parts, which means you can remove 2 of them and still be in compliance with 922R. So that's what I did. I put on the the Bulgarian handguards because I had a set, and I put on this muzzle brake, which honestly I'm not sure if it's US or Bulgarian made. It doesn't matter. Moving on, we have a standard length gas system. We have a machined bolt group. We have a hot die forged receiver, smooth top cover, Standard buttstock for a milled receiver with the top and lower tang. This is the intermediate length, meaning it's longer than a Warsaw, but shorter than a NATO. Obviously, the grip doesn't have the reinforcing plate because this is a fixed stock gun, not a folder. And for more details, and we have the so-called FIME Enhanced trigger group, which, yes, Jay did bump fire with, and even though it's a little stiff from still being new, it would bump fire. These come into the country as fully functioning firearms, and so they come in as sporters to comply with the 89 ban. So originally there would be a thumbhole stock that Arsenal replaces with the military stock and grip. They also come in originally with a magwell that's single stack, which they machine out. You can kind of tell where they did it just on where it's a little smoother. Also, they come in with the bayonet lug stud here, but the lug itself has to be machined out. And for the threaded muzzle, it comes in with a device or something just tack welded on. But once in the US, they convert it and sell it as you see it here. So we tried this with a few magazine types. So let's, jump into that for a minute. So we have two models of magazine, each with two different variants. Tried them all, and all worked just fine. This is the 20-round translucent Bulgarian. The 30-round fiberglass reinforced Bulgarian black polymer. And from Poland, we have the original Burrell WZ-96 magazine. And finally, we have the current modern translucent green Burrell magazine. So yeah, let's try these out. I'm going to put this on the tripod and do my best. Alright, first up, 20-round smoke. This is what these often ship with, and are quite a nice snug fit. Go in very securely. A good classic look. I always kind of like 20-round mags because it's the size of a box of ammo. These are about $35, brand new, and are actually plenty reliable. These are used by the Bulgarian military. Early smoke mags from, 10-15 years ago had some trouble with spiderweb cracking, but newer ones, they've really kind of perfected the polymer. These also have metal lugs and no hobo, and are perfectly good mags. And they are cheaper than our other Bulgarian mag over here, so might be a good alternative for someone. So what about the 30 you saw in the one clip? The black 30 here is kind of the original 5.56 caliber mag from Arsenal. When I had my SAM-5 back in late 2004, early 2005, this was essentially the only factory mag available. Also locks in very well. These are actually inspired by the Finnish late Bayonet mags, for what it's worth. These are very good. Full metal reinforcement, easy to load, reliable, durable. The only real downside is, like other Arsenal waffle mags, these are expensive. The 20s, like I said, are 35 bucks, give or take, but the 30s are about 50 bucks. Now keep in mind, that's for brand new mags. AK mags are typically cheap when they're either used, surplus, like many used things, that makes them cheaper, or if they're commercial knockoffs, essentially like the Korean mags. Personally, I like the Korean AK mags for what they cost. They're great range mags, but they're not go to war. They're not combat mags. Something like this literally is. You can see it on the Arsenal Bulgarian website for their select fire guns. But if you don't want to pay 50 bucks a mag, I totally get that. And that's when we brought out these Brill mags. And again, this is the first generation, black. 30 rounds. They seem to fit. I guess I gotta get a little leverage here. There we go. They fit quite well. Yeah, I mean, really, I was going to say maybe a little more play than the Arsenals, but no, not really. Fit very well, and they work well, too. Now, you don't see the black Polish anymore. They stopped making these some years ago. Once in a while, you'll find them surplus in used but nice shape. But the current production is the translucent here, and it has been for some time. And much like with the Bulgarian mags, the original clear Polish mags had problems with spider web cracking, but then they went to this translucent green. They had been using these for over a decade in the Polish military, and they work fine. And again, this one does fit with a little more play, but it's not at all egregious. Aside from just wanting to show that these would fit and function, it's also worth pointing out they're cheaper. Arms of America imports these factory new, made by FB Radom, formerly Circle 11. They're about 30 bucks brand new. However, there's a mag that looks very similar to this that's recently hit the market, that's made by WBP, a brand that you know we're quite fond of, and they're about 25 bucks. However, since Jay and I do not own a WBP 5.56 mag yet, we can't say firsthand that they work, so we'll just kind of table that for now. But we can say that either Polish mag fits this rifle well, functions 100%, and not surprisingly, both Bulgarian mags worked well. And we didn't just bring out one of each. I brought out a complete full mag pouch, so 4 of each Bulgarian and 3 of each of the Polish. And speaking of cycling, I know some people ask in the original video if it cycles steel. Of course it does. We tread steel, wolf, and brown bear or silver bear, I forget which. And of course we tried some brass like Aguila. I think we might have tried some SIG as well. 100% reliability. It really was boringly reliable. But it was also fun because of the caliber and maybe a little bit because of this muzzle brake. There was so little felt recoil, and this bolt is very smooth. The FIME trigger is quite nice. The safety is positive, but also easy to actuate. The top cover fits nice and tight. The gas tube has really no wiggle or play. But it wouldn't be an authentic review if we didn't find something to complain about, right? So with that spirit in mind, one thing, the pistol grip is just a little bit loose. I mean, I could fix this in 2 seconds with a screwdriver, but in the grand tradition of YouTube reviews, gotta find something to bitch about, right? So hey, people at Arsenal, tighten down your screws a little more. I sold off my SAM5 10 years ago, but I did keep one accessory I had for it. I purchased this from KVAR around the same time. Circle 10 marked bayonet and scabbard. This material is kind of the same as on the closure for the mag catches, and this polymer kind of the same as for the gun. This is the style that can be used as a wire cutter. And it has a serrated edge. And since this has a bayonet lug, let's stick it on. Why not? In case you're wondering, this is a lot easier to do when you're at the right angle. But as you see, it goes on quite easily with no problems. So the bayonet lug is fully functional. It's machined correctly. The bayonet doesn't fit with a lot of wiggle. In fact, it's pretty minimum. And it will go on with the Arsenal muzzle brake. And this looks neat. And regardless of not having the best luck today, at least on the electronic level, I certainly can't complain about how this rifle performed. Did great. And it reminded me why not just myself, but my friends really enjoyed the original SAM-5. Back then we just kind of referred to it as the AK-101 because it was one of the few modern AKs you could find then. You know, modern styling, 90-degree gas block, polymer furniture that was in this caliber. And of course your other milled Arsenals are all 7.62 by 39 for the most part. Judge for yourself. I mean, this has the typical paint over phosphate finish, but it seems well done and nice and even. It's a very good feeling gun. And one we will have to take out very soon again. And definitely double checking our memory card. Getting a new one. But figured why not do a range update. If anyone has any questions, you know, we'll be happy to do what we can to answer them. These were available exclusively through KVAR. And as of right now, November 12th, they're showing as out of stock. For what it's worth, this is definitely a keeper for me. And one I hope we'll be able to enjoy for years to come. I think if it had come out at any other time, I would still be excited. I was already looking for a replacement in the first place. And I kind of like it when guns get dropped like this. Not much teasing or whatnot. It's just like, hey, they're here. They're available. I don't like it when, oh, they show it at SHOT Show a couple of times and then it's 18 months late or, And that's one thing I have to compliment Arsenal. They don't typically tease stuff. They just release it. And on top of that, this being 2020, the way this year has gone, this was a very nice, welcome surprise. Most of the surprises this year have not been of the positive variety. So it is very refreshing to have something in that camp. It was something I look forward to getting. I've had it for a couple of weeks now. And if it wasn't for this loose pistol grip after shooting a few hundred rounds, I'd give it an A+, but again, in the spirit of YouTube, C- because of the loose pistol grip. Alrighty, folks. Anyone else buy one of these? If so, we'd love to hear your experiences in the comments. As always, if you could, like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to help support the channel and get a new SD card for us, please check out the link to our Patreon page. This is Misha, and we'll catch you very soon next time.